everybody, welcome back to Rocky Mountain Homestead with Angela. Tonight I am canning up chicken breasts that I got in bulk. I'm going to show you how to get it from in the package onto your pantry shelf. Now canned chicken breasts, if you can get past the intimidation of pressure canning, it is amazing to just have on your shelf ready to go. As a mom with a lot of kids, it has saved me a lot of times on the days I forget to thaw some type of meat to go with dinner. You can use it in chicken salad for sandwiches. You can use it for enchiladas, casseroles, soups. It's just amazing to have on hand ready to go. You can cut it in strips. You can put in a whole chicken thigh or a chicken leg. I like to do it with the boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and I just dice mine up into big chunks because that's usually how a lot of my recipes that I do, they take the diced chicken breast. So that is how I do it for me. You can do it any way you'd like to. I'm going to go ahead and show you the steps. It's so easy. If you have not given pressure canning meats a try, I highly suggest you do. It is so convenient, whether you have kids or not, just having it on the shelf, ready to go. It's shelf stable. It's amazing. So I'm going to take you along with me. Now in pressure canning your chicken, it's a lot different than water bath canning. With water bath canning, you want a very sterile environment. I have chicken breasts. It's a raw pack method. There's a hot pack method and raw pack. I like the raw pack over the hot pack method. So we are doing raw. These are, they were washed in hot soapy water, but these are actually cold now. It's chilly in my house. So these are washed, ready to go. My lids, as you can see, are not in, hot water. Soaking. My, rings are just sitting out ready to go. So this is different than water bath canning. With pressure canning, there is no amount of soap, boiling water, or scrubbing that is going to sterilize as much as the pressure canning process. So that's why you see, the jars out and they are room temperature. That's going to be, room temperature. They're all the same temperature, as well as the water in the pressure canner. The water in the pressure canner is just sitting here at room temperature. So everything is the same temperature. And I don't know if you can see it. I've used this so many times. I'm going to point because, okay, so right here, you probably can't even tell. Right there at the bottom of my nail is where the line is for the water. So this is 3 quarts of water. That's what my Presto canner calls for. I have the 23 quart pressure canner, and that calls for 3 quarts of water or also 12 cups of water. So once again, this is room temperature as well. Now let's get started. I'm going to take this. I already cut the fat off of this chicken breast. I am going to just cut it good sized chunks. That's how I like my chicken breast when I can it, because like I said, that's, kind of how my recipes are with canned chicken breast. So you cut it how you want to. You're also going to loosely pack it. You're not going to, press it down with a debubbler. You're not going to press it down with your hands. You're just going to lightly pack it into your jars. Also, with your quart jars, which I'm using quart jars, wide mouth quart jars, you also can optionally add in 1 teaspoon of salt. I choose the pink Himalayan salt, but you can also use canning salt if you'd like, or you don't have to add in any salt. If you have your chicken that you're going to use for a specific recipe that already has salt in it, you can just leave that out. You don't have to add it. And also, you are not going to be adding any liquid into this. This chicken will make its own broth as it pressure cans. We're getting close to the top. I'm going to scooch this back so you can see. So it will make its own broth. and we're getting close. You want to fill this up to 1¼ inch of headspace. So I actually will measure it. Now see, I'm just very lightly pressing down. And I think I'm comfortable with where it is at. And I'll show you where that is. Okay, that is 1 inch. And you want 1/4 inch of headspace. So 1¼ inch headspace. I am happy where that is at, and I'm going to continue the process. Okay, so we're done that jar. Let's pull out the next one, and we're gonna do the same thing. Like I said, I'm just doing big chunks. And once again, some recipes that are just really good. You know, like I said, enchiladas, you can use it in quesadillas. It's really versatile. And it saves a lot of time. Like I said, if you forget to thaw meat, you can use it in chicken pot pie, broccoli, rice, cheese casserole. I like enchiladas, or a black bean and corn quesadilla I make. Chicken salad sandwiches. Lots of different uses for it. The only thing I think that wouldn't really hold up for is, because it is kind of like the canned chicken you would get at the store. It's a little bit of a shredded texture when it's done pressure canning. So you wouldn't really want to use it in, say, like a stir fry or something where you really want your chicken holding the complete shape. But there's so many uses for it, and it's just great to have on hand. If you lose power, you have a gas stove or any type of burner, you can just pop it right in there and still have something to eat that you made yourself. You put it on your shelf. And that is one of the things I love about canning in general. I think the jars are way prettier to look at, even though they call this ugly chicken. I think it's still pretty to look at. And like I said, you want to trim off the fat, any fat you have on it. You really don't want the fat in here. But this is delicious. It totally beats canned chicken from the store. The taste is just phenomenal. It's just delicious. That one is where I want it as well. Let's scoot that over. And I'm just going to continue the process. Of getting these diced up. Trimming off any fat. So I was really intimidated to pressure can. I had my I had my pressure canner sitting on a shelf just like mocking me for almost 2 years, and I wanted to use it, and I was so scared. I was so scared that I was going to end up killing my family. You know, botulism. That was a really intimidating word for me. And, you know, one day I just decided I'm going to do this and give it a try. And I did. And it took a couple months. It took a couple months to be able to eat it. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, well, now I canned it. But, you know, you start second guessing yourself. Like, did I follow it step by step? And as long as you follow everything the way you're supposed to, you are fine. You're totally fine. If your jars seal, you know, your lids seal, and you followed everything, it didn't lose pressure at all. I have, like I said, the Presto pressure canner. So mine is not like a weighted gauge. I have like the pressure gauge, the dial gauge that shows me the pressure. And if I end up, you know, it has to stay at that pressure. It cannot dip below what your pressure should be. And we'll go over that here in a little bit when I am done. So I will bring you back in just a few minutes. Now that I got the proper headspace of 1¼ inch, I'm going to go ahead and add 1 teaspoon of Himalayan sauce. If you were doing pint jars, you would want to do half a teaspoon. I am doing quart jars, so I'm doing 1 teaspoon. I have a half teaspoon measure, so you're going to see me doing it twice to equal 1 teaspoon. And like I said, I'm using pink Himalayan salt. You can use canning salt, or you can just opt out and not do salt at all. There. I'm also going to now dip. Now you don't debubble this, but I have a little bowl of vinegar right here. I'm going to dip a paper towel in. And while you're putting chicken pieces in, you could get some, fat, some chicken juice. I cut all my fat off, so if anything, I would have chicken juice, which I see on some of these rims here. You're just going to give it a good wipe to get everything off the surface. You don't want to compromise your seal, so you want that rim really clean. Now I'm going to go ahead and place my lids on. And then you're going to go ahead and screw your rings on fingertip tight. That means only as tight as your fingertips alone will twist it. So that one's good. I always kind of go back and double check, no matter how many times I can. I still always do that. last one. Now you've got to admit that's pretty simple at this point. I'm going to go ahead and place these jars in. And like I said, my Presto canner takes 3 quarts of water, which is 12 cups of water. Like I said, everything is room temperature. Now this canner fits 7 quart jars, and I have 7 quart jars. So I'm going to go ahead and take my lid. I'm going to go ahead and line my arrow up. As you can see on here, there is, let me move my finger, there we go. See that arrow? And that arrow. Just go ahead and screw on and tighten. Now this is the weight that I have that goes on top, but you're not going to put it on top yet. So see, mine's a dial. And for my altitude, I need to have mine at 14 pounds of pressure. So I'm just going to go ahead and read to you from the ball canning book what you want for your pressure. I know a lot of videos leave that out, and it sucks because sometimes I can't do their recipe if if they don't share that information, because that's very important in your food safety. So I'm going to go ahead and read from the ball book what it actually says for your low acid altitude adjustment. There's a lot of videos I've wanted to do, or recipes I've wanted to do in the past on videos, and people never seem to share what, what would be required for all the altitudes except their own. So for 0 to 1,000 feet, you want it at 11 pounds on this dial. For 1,001 feet to 2,000 feet, you want it at 11 pounds. For 2,001 feet to 4,000 feet, you want it at 12. 4,001 to 6,000 feet, you want it at 13. 6,001 feet to 8,000 feet, you want it at 14, which is mine up in the Rockies where we're at. We are about 7,600 feet elevation. And then for 8,001 feet to 10,000 feet, you want it at 15. So I need mine at 14 pounds of pressure. And what I'm going to do, and what I did, is I started this up, and I have a gas range. I usually keep mine at about an 8 to start, and I'll take you back for the next step. Now, as you can see, there is steam coming out. We are really starting to get close to this little air vent popping up. You do not want to add on your weight right now. You want to wait till this pops up. When this pops up, according to the book, you can start putting your weight on. Now, as you can see, we have some steam coming up here, and this air vent, though, has not popped up yet. You want to wait for that to pop up. We're getting close, but we are nowhere near ready to put our weight on top over that. So you're not going to do that yet. You're going to wait for that air vent to pop up, and I'm trying to catch that. We are close. At this point, it's been about 10 minutes that I've had this on a number 8. So pretty high heat on my burner. Let's see if we can catch this. We are close. That's okay if you see some water coming out of there. You're going to see it throughout this process. Let's see if I can catch it. All right, I can see it slowly lifting up more. Almost. There we go. And there it is. Finally, y'all have no clue how long I've been standing as still as I can, holding this to catch that for you guys. It's literally been about 10 minutes I've been standing there because I knew if I moved, I would miss it and not be able to show you guys. So like I said, I like to add 10 minutes personally. Once that pops up, you don't have to wait. You can go ahead and add your weight now according to the book. But for me, I like to make sure, double sure. You can never be sure enough that all the air is out. There'll be a nice steady stream of steam here. Probably shouldn't stick my finger in it, huh? Anyway, I will be back in 10 minutes. All right, so my timer just went off, and I am going to go ahead and add this to the top. Now, I'm not going to lie, I do have a cheat sheet. So you want to gradually lower your temperature as your PSI numbers are climbing. You don't want to do it too suddenly because that can cause siphoning, which is when the liquid contents, like I said, it creates a broth. That can actually siphon out of your jar, compromise your seal on your lid, and make your food unsafe if a certain amount of liquid comes out and is siphoned out. Now, it's okay for a little bit. I've had like a quarter amount of the liquid siphoned out where some of the chicken on top is exposed, and that's totally fine. If over half your amount of liquid is siphoned out, you probably want to put that in the front of your shelf and make that a priority to use it first. Now, as you can see, we are already climbing. Trying to focus for y'all, sorry. Climbing. So with my little cheat sheet, I kind of found the sweet spot, and you're going to find that for your own stove as well. I have a gas range. I'm going to show you while I'm waiting for it to climb. So at 5 psi, I usually turn my dial, like I said, it's on an 8 right now. I usually turn mine down to a 5 on my stove. When it reaches 9 psi, I turn my dial to about 3.5 on the stove. When it's between 12 to 13, my PSI level, then I go to a 2.5 on the stove. And when I'm at 14 PSI, then I am going to low on my setting. So we're climbing up gradually. Like I said, you just want to do it in increments. Now, you never obviously want your PSI to go all the way up to here. That's why you gradually want to lower your temperature, your flame on your gas range, or your temperature on your stove. This takes a little bit of time. Once you get it to the number, mine's never exact. Like I said, mine has to be at 14 psi. It's okay if it goes a little higher. That's okay. You don't ever want it to go lower. See that water? That's normal. That's okay. You never want your PSI to go lower than the number you're supposed to have it at. If it does go lower, you are going to have to start the process all over again. So remember, never ever go lower than your number. You will have to start all over again. Even if there's only like 10 minutes left on it, you are going to have to start from square one and reprocess them all. Get it back up to the PSI that you need it at. So say like I need to be at 14 and mine dropped to 13. Yes, that makes a difference, and that can compromise the safety of your food. And with these types of foods, you can actually, get botulism. This is the type of canning that can create that. So I'm getting close to my 5, and I'm going to turn my dial in a second down to a 5. So yeah, my dog must have fallen asleep and dropped the bone off the couch. Sorry about that. I actually jumped. Don't know if I held my phone steady for that. Okay, we're close enough to 5, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to gradually turn mine down to a 5. So very gradually, you just don't want siphoning. So with pressure canning, it takes a long time. If you are doing your quarts, like I have quart jars, if you're doing quart jars and it's boneless chicken breast or boneless chicken, it will be processed for 90 minutes, 90. If it is bone-in chicken, you are going to process that for 75 minutes. So I have 90 minutes to go once I have my pressure set, and it's 11:47. So unfortunately, this is something I can't really easily do in the daytime with kids because, let's face it, they interrupt, they distract. And I have pressure canned baked beans before, and I had to dump some of it because I second guessed if I shut it off at the right time. I had bread baking in the oven, and I had my pressure canner on the stove, and I forgot which timer was for what. Just the chaos of kids in general in life. If you get a lot of distractions, it's very easy to make mistakes. So I know it's late at night, and I know I have a while to go, because when at the very end, you're going to wait for it to, depressurize, and that is quite a long process. So I have a ways to go. I'm probably going to shower, swap some laundry, and, get our homeschool stuff ready for the day tomorrow while I'm waiting and take my dogs out because all 4 dogs are at the door. So I will take you back after this processing is done. All right, you guys, it is late, so I'm going to talk very quiet, but look at this. They are perfect, no siphoning at all. Really pleased with how this turned out. I think that discoloration right there is the salt. Yep. So that's part of using the salt. You can see it, but it's totally fine. So I hope you guys give canning a try, especially pressure canning. If you have been intimidated by this, it is so worth it. It's so convenient to have meats, protein ready to go on your pantry shelf. I highly suggest you give this a try. I hope this video has been helpful. I hope it's encouraging to somebody to give this a try. As long as you follow the book. Don't mind my cat. Every time it's really late and I'm still down here, he's always looking for me. Mom. That's my little Tigger baby. I know, Tigger. He's so cute. Okay. I know. I gotta go. Especially now that I have sick kids. I don't know how many times I'm gonna be up throughout the night, and it is already 2:39 in the morning. I've got to go to bed anyway. I hope you guys give this a go and try. I'm going to do some ground beef here soon. That's going to be my next pressure canning video. Actually, I lied. It might be carrots. I have carrots I need to use. We'll do carrots, and then we will do Tigger, and then we will do some ground beef. All right, you guys, I hope you have a great week. I have more videos coming out, lots of videos. I'm going to switch it up to keep it interesting. So anyway, take care. God bless. We will see you in the next video. I'm in my pajamas, so I can't really show much, but take care. I love you. All right, have a good night, guys.